Good morning, ladies. Today is Wednesday, April 15th. So today we are going to do or review word problems, okay? So I have a word problem up and it says there are 32 dogs at the dog park. 5 dogs leave. Then another 9 dogs leave. How many dogs are still at the park? So what we want to remember to do is we want to remember to go in our problem and underline those words that are important. So we know that there are numbers, 32 dogs, that's going to be important. Then there's 5 dogs that leave, so that leave is going to tell you something. And then another 9 dogs leave. How many dogs are still at the dog park? So they want to know how many dogs are still at the dog park. I always like to read my question a few times so I remember what they're talking about, and I know that that's what I have to answer at the end when I'm all done. So you're going to start and you're going to ask yourselves, well, what am I doing? What operation am I going to do? Am I going to do subtraction or addition? And that's up to, well, you have to figure it out. And there's something that we underline that's going to tell you that. So if you see the leave, something's leaving, it's going away. So you're going to be getting rid of that, which means you're going to be subtracting. So you can even put a little subtraction sign over above that so you know. So now you have to ask yourself, what's your whole and what's your part? And I know that some of us like to draw our number bond to figure out. So we know that there are 32 dogs at the park right now. Okay? We want to know how many are still left at the park. So right now there's 32. And we see that 5 dogs leave. So 32 minus 5. So you have to ask yourself, you have 2. Can you subtract 5? No, you can't. So you have to cross this out, go to your neighbor, borrow 1. So the 3 will become a 2. And go back to your ones place. The 2 becomes a 12. And now you can subtract. So ask yourself, 12 minus 5. Remember, I give you that think time. So you should have got 7 and then carry down your 2 because there's nothing right here. So 32 minus 5 is 27. Now here is something that I've been seeing. And I want to really make sure that we're not going to do this. So some of you would tell me that, okay, yeah, how many dogs are still at the dog park? There's 27. I'm all done. Always go back into your question and make sure that you really answered it all. Right now, we have 32 dogs. We took 5 dogs away that left. Watch right here. It tells you more information. This is more than a one-step problem. Then another 9 dogs leave. How many dogs are still at the dog park? This right here that I just started is very important. Another 9 dogs are going to leave. So you have to take your new number that you got, this 27, and you have to subtract the 9 dogs that left from that 27. So you have 7. Can you take 9 away from that 7? No, remember that when you're subtracting, the bigger number always has to be on top. So go to your neighbor, borrow 1. The 2 will become a 1. 7 will become a 17. 17 minus 9. Which is going to be 8. And then carry down your 1. So now, again, always go back and check to make sure you answered the question. It says, how many dogs are still at the dog park? Well, I know I started with my 32. I subtracted 5 dogs that left. Then I subtracted my 9 dogs that left. How many dogs are still at the dog park? there, remember we want our sentence, are 18 dogs at the dog park. Okay, we are going to do one more. Let me set that up for you now. All right, so your next problem. Remember, you read it, and if you have to reread it again, it says Miss Park has 22 pens. Miss Hildebrand has 13 pens. Miss Severino has 18 pens. How many pens do the teachers have in all? So again, go back to your problem, underline that important information. Miss Park has 22 pens. Miss Hildebrand has 13 pens. Miss Severino has 18 pens. How many pens do the teachers have in all? You should be looking at your question to see, because your question is always going to give you the hint, or it's going to tell you how you're going to solve the problem. So is it going to be addition or subtraction, and eventually maybe multiplication? Okay, so how many pens do the teachers have in all? This in all is going to tell us to do something. What they want to know is take all those pens, put them together. How many do they have in all together? So in all is going to tell you to add. So 3 numbers, you might be thinking, oh, I don't know if I can do that, right? You can do that. So break it up. If you have to do 2 numbers, pick 2 numbers, do that first, and then add the second number. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick these 2 numbers. I'm going to go right in order, my 22 and my 13, because I don't want to mess up, right? So when I start and I solve my problem, I always start usually with my first number, then I go to my second number, my third number, just to make sure that I don't miss anything, which I have seen that happen before. So we're going to take our 22 and our 13, and we said that we were going to add them together. So you'll do 2 plus 3 and get 5. 2 plus 1, get 3. Now again, this is where sometimes I see people give up and say, oh, no, that's the answer. Always go back to your problem. You are not done. You have a whole nother 18 pens that Miss Severino has that you need to add to this number. So remember, you can do that right underneath your 35. Then you're going to do 5 plus 8, which is going to be 13. You can carry the 1 either right here, which we've learned, or you can carry it up top over here. Okay, this area usually makes it so you don't really forget it, so that helps a lot. So 3 plus 1 is 4, plus 1 more is 5. So your answer is 53 pens. Or remember to make it a sentence. How many pens do the teachers have in all? In the, actually. The teachers have 53 pens in all. Okay, so I know that there's a couple of word problems in your packet. I want you to try your best on those. Remember to use your strategies. So I circled important words that were telling me what to do. I circled the information in my problem. Okay, they are going to try to trick you, so just be careful. Try to really answer those questions. Reread the problem as many times as you need to understand what they're trying to ask you. You've got this. Okay, send your work to your teacher so we can see it. We want to see the great work you're doing and all of this showing your work and your word sentence. We want to see this, your number sentence. Okay, so keep it up and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, ladies.